Welcome to Negotiate with Yourself and Win with me, Jeremy Sherman, and me, Jeremy Sherman. I've got to say, this week I was surprised to discover that we disagree about something pretty important. I thought we were better than that. Better than disagreeing? Like we'd be of one mind about everything? Well, isn't that the goal? Sure, but it's not like I hear everything you think. We're bound to overlook inconsistencies. True, I probably keep some thoughts to myself. Me too. And when you think something awkward or inconvenient, I probably check out. Yeah, like a couple that's been together a long time. We'll both bite our lips and close our ears sometimes to give the impression, the false impression, that we're of one mind. Still, this disagreement was pretty fundamental, and somehow we hadn't noticed it. Yup, talking out both sides of our mouths we were. Right hand not knowing what the left was doing. Want to tell them about it? Sure. Remember, we're psychoproctologists. We study buttheads and how to distinguish them from the everyday occasional jerks we all can be. What distinguishes a butthead, since it can't just be anyone you happen to butt heads with? And for an objective definition, it's no good coming at it with a personal bias. Like that a butthead is anyone who doesn't agree with whatever I happen to consider the most fundamental moral standards. That would be subjective. And besides, I recognize that buttheads come in all flavors. Right-wing, left-wing, religious, spiritual, atheist, philosophical, or even with no consistent agenda, goals, or ends. I figured what distinguishes buttheads isn't about what they believe, but how they strut it. So not about their dirty ends, but their dirty means. Not what they believe, but how they behave. And I had a different approach. Is a butthead someone who lies? Well, we all lie. Someone who engages in hypocrisy, greed, someone who's slippery? Well, we all do that stuff. So I rejected the behavioral approach. Being a butthead can't be a function of the means people use to get what they want, since we all use those moves from time to time. I figured the way to distinguish buttheads was by their bad ends, by their bad goals. So here I am arguing you can't tell a butthead by their ends, their mission, goal, campaign, crusade, cause. And here I am arguing you can't tell a butthead by their means, since we all use the same grandstanding, power-grabbing, thumb-on-the-scale rhetorical maneuvers from time to time at least. So what's left? It's funny that the question didn't even occur to us, even after 25 years working as psychoproctologists. Funny, and yet not atypical. I bet there are couples that have been married that long that have likewise overlooked an inconsistency in their thinking. Yeah, but a couple is two people in two bodies. You and I were rattling around in the same cranium. So what the heck? I expect it. Not surprising at all. Anyway, here's the debate where we worked it out. If you can't distinguish buttheads, total jerks, a-holes, know-it-alls, douchebags, devils, whatever you want to call them, if you can't distinguish them by their devilish means or their devilish ends, what else might distinguish them? It's just authoritarianism, a dictator and his followers. They think their ends justify their means. They use dirty tricks to get power. You don't want power? Not the way they get it. Not if it means using dirty tricks. But you're always going on about how we better turn things around quickly or it's going to be too late for us. So to turn things around quickly you need power. Yeah, but I want to get it honestly. You're telling me that if we were able to get their power gained by their dirty means, but to achieve our clean ends, you'd refuse it? Like if we had a president who used power like him, but was completely aligned with our goals for a better planet, you would oppose him? Using dirty tricks is never acceptable under any circumstances. You would let our planet die rather than using any dirty tricks ever? Our planet will die if we continue to use dirty tricks. And what's your definition of dirty tricks? Power grabs. Is a power grab just anything that gains you power? Like if you won the Nobel Prize, is that a power grab? Don't be an idiot. If you win fair and square based on the merits of your work, that's not a power grab, that's power earned. Power should go to those who earn it, not those who grab it. I agree, but I can't help but notice that you just called me an idiot. I didn't. I told you not to be one. So out of the blue, you're just reminding me not to be an idiot. I guess. Like it slipped my mind, like maybe I thought it would be good to become an idiot. Look, I didn't mean to insult you. I'm not insulted. Then why turn your attention to that? We were talking about power grabs, right? Well, to my ears, you didn't earn the power and authority to remind me not to be an idiot. It sounded to me like a power grab. Now you're just being slippery. You say that from your position of authority earned how? Oh, come on, cut it out. Okay, here's my point. I think there are a few problems with your standards. You say no matter what your goals or ends, what matters is using clean means. Ends never justify using dirty means. Ends never justify using power grabs, right? Right. You would never want to use power grabs because they make a mess of things. Correct. So at the risk of being accused again of courting idiocy, can you honestly say you never engage in power grabs? Well, come on now. If you say with authority that you absolutely never use power grabs right after telling me not to be an idiot, I'll think you make power grabs to cover your power grabs. All right, sure, I use power grabs sometimes, but I try not to. You think power grabs are bad, but sometimes you indulge despite yourself. Sure, like donuts. They're not good for me. I should never eat them, but I do sometimes. I never said I was perfect. But you did suggest that the solution is for us all to eradicate power grabs. Let's turn the tables here. Enough about me. What do you think? You would vote for a president who makes power grabs like our dictator president if he was 100% behind our goals for saving the planet? Do you think virtuous ends justify using dirty means? Fair question. Okay, here's what I've got so far. There's no escaping power grabs any more than there's escaping donuts or other temptations. People will use power grabs. People will grab unearned power. We have to admit that power grabs work and that we need power to implement real change. Right, but look at the power grabs Lincoln used to win the Civil War. I doubt any of our biggest heroes were pure. I think it boils down to having the right ends, not the right means. If you have the right ends, it justifies using power grabs. Really? Well, sure, that's what I think. So how can we tell what are the right ends? By if they bring about a better future. Oh, that's cute. You can tell you have the right ends in the end, when things turn out right in the end. Hey, come on now, I'm serious. No, you earned a tease for that one. Don't be an idiot. I'm asking you how you can tell in advance, not in retrospect. But ends are about the future. What matters is if the ends are achieved. Sure, but ends are predictions about what will happen in the future. I'm asking how you can tell if it's a good prediction. And if you aim right, things come out right, right? Ha! Now again, don't be an idiot. Power grab. No, power earned by you making that ridiculous claim. Since when does aiming right always turn out right? What about the unforeseen, unintended consequences? Here, try this out. To your point earlier, I don't bet anyone sets out to be an idiot. Everyone wants things to turn out great. We all have different ideas about what it takes, what should be our priorities, what we should do today so things will have worked out well tomorrow. I like that. Dad used to say, always do today what worked tomorrow. But he said it ironically. He said it seriously. A mock serious face. He was teasing. But it's true. We should all do today what worked tomorrow. But he said it ironically because the devil's in the details. Worked how? Worked for who? Which tomorrow? And since tomorrow isn't here today to guide us, how can we tell what will have proven to work tomorrow? Oh, right. That. Tomorrow isn't available today. It's guesswork. We're all guessing. So of course people will have different guesses about what we should do, and nobody is trying to be an idiot. Everyone is trying to do today what worked tomorrow. So if you're going to reject my means-based standards and instead determine who's bad based on their ends, you're going to have to come up with a way to decide whose ends are better than whose. Well, obviously, I like my vision for the future. I agree with my ends. Everybody agrees with their ends. ISIS agrees with their ends. So go fish. That's no standard we can apply. But really, my ends are better than ISIS's, obviously. Obvious to you, not to them. So maybe here's where we're at. You say live clean, no power grabs, no matter what your goal, because everyone thinks they have the best ends in mind. Everyone gets to guess what we should do today so that things will work out well tomorrow. So no one should ever assume that their ends justify any power grab means. Am I getting that right? That's right. And you're saying we all use power grabs, so we can't just eliminate them. The power grab moves don't make you right or wrong. What matters are your ends. The better your goals, the more power you deserve. That's right, come to think of it. Yeah. We'll even disagree about whether power was grabbed or earned. If you think your ends are better than other people's, you'll think you've earned the means to implement them. Maybe that's what Lincoln did. Good. We'll debate whether powerful means are earned by our ends. And really, you can't tell whether you've earned the right to use those power moves until the end. Like if our president really does end up making America great again, who are we to say he used power grabs, not power earned? I'm reminded, Secretary of State Robert McNamara said that if we had lost World War II, we would have been war criminals for bombing Japan like we did. Always do today what worked tomorrow means that you can only tell whether your power was grabbed or earned after the power has been used and the consequences are revealed. And even then you don't know for sure. The fat lady never sings. It ain't over till it's over, and it's never over. Something can turn out right, but then go sour later. It's a rolling retrospective. Look back from one tomorrow and you'll think it turned out great. Look back a day later and it can look terrible. Like I said, we need to know better ends now, not later. Some means are just power grabs, plain and simple. They shouldn't be used. Sure, they will, but they shouldn't. We need a means-based approach to power grabs. But Lincoln, he had to manipulate the country to end the Civil War, and we're glad he did. I bet you'd be okay with a benevolent dictator, just not a malevolent one. Am I getting that right? That's right, but I get your point now. Everyone says their ends are pure. Everyone has confidence in their bets about what we should do. We're all trying to make things turn out great, and we disagree about what's to be done today so things work out tomorrow. Everyone thinks they've earned the power by virtue of their better ends. Look, I'm not trying to be an idiot, but I feel like one because we both seem wrong. You say it's all about having good means, no power grabs. I say that's impossible. It's all about having good ends. You say that's impossible. Everyone has good ends, or at least claims them. Hey, wait, I have an idea. No one wants to appear to be an idiot, but some people are idiots, right? Well, sure, we're all ignorant about something. Not just ignorant, but greedy. The id in idiot. Freud's id. You know, unconstrained self-serving appetite. The impulses we have to control to get along with each other in reality. Idiot was a word long before Freud. Look it up. Look up the etymology of idiot, its original meaning. Okay, here it is. Like I said, it's about from Greek, idiots, layman, person lacking professional skill, opposed to writer, soldier, skilled workman. Literally private person, as opposed to one taking part in public affairs. From idios, one's own. One's own. So idiots are self-serving. They're doing today what works tomorrow for them and them alone. Which tomorrow? Every tomorrow. They don't have any real goals other than self-satisfaction, self-aggrandizement. Our president is an idiot, but he claims lofty goals. Make America great again is a goal, isn't it? But you never hear him get more specific than that. Tell me, who in America would like to make America ungreat? Nobody. MAGA is generic. It's empty. Like saying we deserve to rule because we want things to get better. Big deal. Who doesn't? Right, it sounds like a goal, but it isn't. It's the idiot shouting whatever gets him as much personal power as possible, moment to moment. Yeah, earning power by reaching common goals, he gave up on that long ago. For him, it's power grabs every time, all the time. Power grabs aren't means to lofty ends. Power grabs are his end. His goal is playing God. He and his followers rant louder about their goals than anyone. They wear the hats and t-shirts. They'll out-insist anyone about their goals. Their means are their ends, are their means are their ends. They've collapsed them into one. Their goal is the right to insist loudest on achieving goals they don't care about at all. Their end is endless power grabs. Pro-life, build the wall, drain the swamp, Christian liberation. Oh, they go on and on about them. They insist with more theatrical passion than everyone else. But it's not how hard you insist. That's just lip service. That's just window dressing. What matters is whether you really care about your ends. Like their fiscal conservatism or law and order. They show no real interest in those. The deficit is $1 trillion this year. They're defying court-ordered subpoenas. Okay, so there's your answer. Would I support a leader like our president, but whose true goals were my true goals? No, because they wouldn't be. Our president's true goal is fake invincibility by boundless power grabs. All his other declared goals are just window dressing, just pandering. Would I support a president who pandered to me the way he panders to his cult? No, of course not. Pandering will not achieve my goals. I have goals. I think I can summarize. I started out saying that dirty means are never justified. Power grabs are never justified. As you made clear, that won't work because we all use power grabs. And anyway, we'll debate whether it's a power grab or power earned, depending on whether the goal is a good one. Righteous ends earn power. It's not a power grab if the goal is a worthy one, so I admit it. You can't tell who's a total jerk by the means they use. And I realize nor by the ends. Everyone claims they've got good ends in mind, so who's to say which ends are better? We'll know eventually whose guesses about what to do are better, though even historians will debate. So you can't tell a total jerk by their means or their ends, but you can tell a total jerk by their endless me's, their idiotic me without end. They'll yell with all their might about how they're the smartest, greatest, best, kindest, whatever, and they'll proclaim all these lofty sounding goals, but watch their walk, not their squawk. You'll recognize it's all just grandstanding and pandering. Their end is to use any means possible, no matter how mean, to stay on top without end. Neither means nor ends, but endless me's. I'll buy that. And I can't go for anyone who acts like that. That's a dictator. That's a total jerk. No matter what they squawk. Before we go, I want to say something quick about these inconsistencies we discover in our thinking. Yeah, they're embarrassing. That's true. Not fun to discover that you're not of one mind, that you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. People look for consistency, for integrity, an integrated mind. Yeah, but that's what I want to talk about. Because it's embarrassing, people pretend that they're of one mind when they aren't. I'm always tempted to say, no, you're mistaken. You misunderstood me. I really am of one mind. That way I can avoid embarrassment and the hard work of reconciling an inconsistency you discover. Right, most folks think it's better to patch over and gloss the inconsistency. But it's not better, it's worse. Better to admit it and look at it. Yeah, but you know and I know it's fine to declare that you should always pursue consistency. But knowing isn't doing. That's why I love you. You've proven very patient over the years with my insistence that we look squarely at our inconsistencies. I appreciate that, but it's not a decision I've made. See, over the years, it's paid off. At first, it was embarrassing, but by now I see that all our best thinking comes from negotiating our differences when we see them. We've had hundreds of insights, and they all come from noticing our ambivalences, our equivocations, our talking out both sides of our mouths. Exactly. Not a moral decision to commit to integrity, but that it pays off so well. That's why we've got the patience for it. There's always gold, always pay dirt. Like in the old days, when one of those embarrassing inconsistencies would rear its ugly head, I'd rush to gloss over it. But by now, for all we've harvested, I can say, oh, interesting. I'm talking out both sides of my mouth. I bet other people talk out both sides of their mouths on this topic, too. I can learn something about all of us. I find myself less embarrassed, more eager to roll up my sleeves and figure out why my left hand doesn't know what my right hand is doing. We even came up with a name for it. Yep, being intellectually bi-curious. Nothing sexual about it. The bi-curiosity is about thinking two opposite things. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, then that's our show. Boilerplate, like, share, subscribe, comment, you know the drill. And thanks for listening. Oh, I forgot to say, you know we introduced this series as cradle-to-grave, from the origins of life to our grave situation. And so far we've said nothing about the cradle. That's right. Well, we're not being psychoproctologists. We're part of a 23-year research project based out of UC Berkeley on the origins of life. Origins of effort, selves trying, since chemistry doesn't try at all. And we living beings do. How does effort emerge within chemistry? Big topic. So maybe next episode we can put our grave situation in that context like we said we would. Yeah, for integrity's sake. Exactly. See you next time.